What's going on? Today we're bringing back the BMW M4. We basically had it all summer. We had it for like, what, 3 or 4 months? It's about 4 months. This car basically performed well, but it was super extremely hard to use. But anyways, this video, I really want to make a video explaining what to do exactly when a car owner basically said they want their vehicle back in this same scenario, right? So in this scenario is kind of different because technically my season is over. So technically, like, my model is as soon as my season is over, I usually just send cars back. And so I don't have a lot of cars just sitting, not being rented. But in other scenarios where a vehicle owner would basically just say, hey, I just want my car back, I don't care about anything, this is a video that will address that exact situation that could literally help you to just get out of any situation you're in, especially if you're doing OPC, if you have vehicle partners, or if you're basically managing vehicles for other people, right? Just like I do. And that basically is such a normal thing because people, it's their asset, right? People want their cars back. People have things that come up, blah, blah, blah. But what you really have to do is, this is why it's super, super, super important whenever you're doing OPC to always have a vehicle agreement, or like a contract, basically. So like an agreement, like that, you like a partnership agreement, something that basically clearly outlines the exact thing that you guys would be doing, especially when you take a car from someone, you manage it for them, you input it into your fleet, and you're basically just renting it for them, right? So you want to just keep it as clear and as concise as possible. So in this case, we basically had a whole contract. I sent it to them, they signed it, they brought the car over, but my contract clearly defines that my season only lasts for 4 to 5 months, and after that 5 months they can take their cars back if they want it or not. But in the case of when somebody is completely breaking that contract and they just said, hey, I just want my car back for just their reason, right? So how you can do this, especially if you have that car booked for a bunch of trips and a bunch of customers are expecting to have that car, that would literally mess you up, because now you would have customers expecting to get that car, and then you would basically need to find a car, especially if it's like a specific car like this one, right? Because this one is a BMW M4 competition. If somebody rent this car, they're expecting to get a BMW M4 competition. They're not expecting to get some other bullshit car, right? So it's kind of hard to just say, oh, I'm gonna just do a vehicle swap or just swap them into another vehicle, unless you have 2 of the same cars. Then it would be super easy. But if you don't have 2 of the same cars, it's gonna be super hard, because you're gonna have to like just find a replacement. You're gonna have to negotiate with the guest or just try to tell them that you don't have this vehicle. But the way how you can get around this whole thing is by having a 30-day clause in your contract, or having like a 14-day clause in your contract that says they can only get the cars on like a 14-day notice, advance notice, to tell you that, hey, they want their cars back. And this would give you enough time to basically just find a different car for the guest, or swap them into something else, or just negotiate with them and let them know that you won't have that car. So it would give them more time to just think ahead, depending on how far ahead these people book your car. So it's very simple when it comes on to doing this, because you just want to be as clear as possible in like your agreement. And it's like, I just basically I try my best not to like have any weird fluffy thing in my agreements. I just try to make it as clear and as concise as possible. I just 100% don't like to add any fluff towards it or anything. It just tells them exactly what I'm going to do, exactly what's happening. And one of the best things to do is to just have updated reports, right? So once you have updated reports, especially if a vehicle owner isn't like knowing what's going on with their cars and stuff like that, half the time, that's kind of what they want to know. They want to know that the cars are being rented, it's going to go out, and all these things are just going to happen. So you definitely want to have like some sort of penalty in that agreement, which would basically incentivize them to just let you keep the car longer. Where, say for instance, if you have a bunch of payouts for them, or they basically are supposed to like just get a bunch of payouts from the past rentals that the car did, what you want to do is you have to tell them, hey, like if you cancel early or if you break the contract, you're going to take like 5 or 10% of their payouts depending on how much payout they have going on, right? And you can input that in your contract so that when somebody thinking about breaking the contract and they're thinking about just getting all that money that you owe them, they can just think twice because it's like a cancellation penalty, right? Like if you have a subscription or something, like it's the same exact thing. Like they have like a penalty fee that you pay, and you just want to do the same thing whenever you're writing up this contract, so that they can know that they can't just come to you and just tell you, hey, I want my car back, and just like completely screw up your entire business and entire like system, right? Because the how the system works is you're managing cars for someone else and you're renting it to a customer, right? But if that person just take the car, like you're completely screwed. You're gonna be left in like a situation. So you genuinely want to make sure that that's taken care of, and then you want to just make sure that whenever the time do comes in, if everything is good, if they give you the 14 days advance notice, if everything is happening, you want to just keep the car as clean as possible. You want to record how you gave them back the car. You want to record how the car is, like taking photos, taking videos, and just taking the exact photos of just documenting the exact way that you basically got the car and you're returning it back to them, right? And you want to just give them as clean as possible. It doesn't even matter if they gave you dirty, just give them back as clean as possible. And that's basically the best thing that you can just do in order to just keep the standard and keep your business like professional. Just the same way you would give a customer the car is the same way you should just return the car back to the vehicle owner. In this case, it's the same thing I did with this car. Like I made sure it's all clean. I made sure everything is good with this car. And then you just want to protect yourself at all times. So you always use your agreements and your clauses. You have to always mention these things before you take a car from someone, right? So you have to let them know the penalties that happen whenever you basically just book in, or whenever you're basically taking a car, so you can manage it with the OPC method, right? Because you just don't want somebody, and you know how things are, like some people are very personal about their cars, or they're very like, I don't know, like just sketchy about their cars and stuff like that. So you just want to just make sure that you have this clear agreement with them first. They sign the contract, they look it over, they look at the cancellation penalty, they just look at everything before you take the car or before you accept the car into your fleet, right? Because it's just common sense, bro. You know, so let me see if there's anything here I'm missing. And so real life example basically of me, I basically did the same exact thing, because I had like a vehicle partner pull out on me at the beginning of the summer, right before we basically started. So right before we basically started the summer, I was planning on even having an explosive summer with that particular car, because that car was like a special one, right? So that vehicle partner that I had, it was a girl, and it was basically just very weird, because I don't know how like these people expect to like live with these things, but she had a problem with my storage fee, right? Because we have storage fees in this business, and how it basically work is you have the storage fee. Like if a person give you the car, you want to charge them a storage fee just for having the car, right? And that comes out of the profits every single month. So say for instance, my storage fee is like $60 per month, right? So on top of the percentage split, they're paying the storage fee, and that storage fee goes into wherever you're paying rent to host all your cars, and to add to the fee of cleaning, that you're cleaning the car all the time, because that alone can't come from the percentage that you guys are taking, right? You have to have like at least a retainer that keep them incentivized, that keep you going, and that help maintain that stuff. Because say for instance, the percentage breakdown, say on like a 70-30 percentage, where the vehicle owner gets 70% and you get like 30%, you have to maintain a storage fee, which is like $50 per month, $60 per month. I even have guys that's doing $100 per month storage fee. Like some of my friends, they do like $100 per month for storage fees, right? I'm basically like one of the cheapest out of like all the people who I know who do this exact business, because what a lot of these vehicle owners don't know is like you literally have bills too, right? And that percentage split, if they're already getting 70% and you're just getting 30%, that percentage split can't go into that just can't go into your like storing of the car, like the location that you keep in the car and all those things, right? So you basically have to use the retainer storage fee, which is the monthly $60 per month, to use that as like an incentive to just keep the car working at all times, and just help you basically pay for wherever you're storing the cars, and like how you're cleaning the cars, and just how you maintain the cars, right? Because most people, they just want their cars to just come by you and just keep at your lot for like free storage. So it basically incentivizes yourself to keep them making money, and it basically incentivizes them to just not have a car just sitting down. Worse, if the car gets like a ticket or gets like some other penalty for just staying somewhere too long, you want to be getting getting that storage fee so that just basically keep as like a retainer that you can just always use to cover any of these bills that basically show up, right? So I basically charge a storage fee for each car that a person would give to me. So if a person give me 3 cars, I would be charging them $60 per month for each car. But at the same time, a lot of these cars, they're doing a lot of revenue. So you definitely want to just make sure that you're not losing on your end, because if you think about it right now, the vehicle owner don't really care about your situation, and that's the exact situation that happened. She never cared about my situation. So it's like, no matter how much I explained to her, and no matter how much I showed her that like it has to go like this, and everybody else is doing the same thing, everybody who gives me vehicles are doing the same thing, like she never cared. She was only thinking about getting 70%. And you have to understand, like, a lot of these vehicle owners, they're doing nothing. They're literally doing nothing. You're literally paying them passive income, bro. So it's like, they don't understand that there's a lot more that goes into just taking your car and just doing it. So it's like, it's very much harder to deal with these people because they don't really understand how business works, and they're just thinking about their profits, right? They're not actually thinking about you as a person who's making the system work. So it's like, that ended up making it very difficult for me to explain, and then I had to just return that vehicle to that person. But luckily that vehicle never really started making revenue yet. So it's like, I never had to take any cancellation fee or any penalties out of her profits, so that it was just like that, right? So it was just very much a clear, concise contract, and all I did was just return her vehicle, super clean, just the way she gave it to me, with all the photos, and it was just a very easy process, right? So it's like, whenever somebody say to you that they want their vehicle back, never argue with them, never try to say, oh no, you have to get this, whatever. Just follow the exact thing that you had in the contract. And once you can follow the exact thing you had in the contract, like, believe me, it's just going to be there, because if they decide to take you to civil court or some other bullshit, the contract is there. Like, you don't, they signed that, right? So it's like, there's nothing to argue about here. But anyways, if you want like a copy of my contract, I can send you a template. I'll put the template in the description so you guys can check it out, so you can use it to just map out your exact thing. And you probably won't like need to follow my template like step by step, because obviously you live in like a different market, you're living in different situations, and you just have different scenarios that happen in your market, right? So just use my template as like a guide, and I hope it can help you. And by the way, you can also subscribe to the channel and just leave like a comment. Leave if I missed something in this video, just basically tell me exactly what I missed, or just give me your experience and just basically let me know how it goes, right? So thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.